I had to teach myself how to do a Superman jab. No one taught it to me. No one showed it to me. I've never even seen it taught anywhere. I've only ever trained with one guy who would use it and used to hit me with it all the time. So I said, you know what? I need to learn how to do that. So I taught myself how to do it, and I've seen other people try to learn it and really struggle. So in this video, I'm gonna make it very, very simple. This is a high percentage attack. It's almost like a free action, because when you do this, they don't have a lot of answers for it. The first thing you have to realize is that the Superman jab is not the same thing as a Superman punch with the lead hand. I know that seems intuitive, like, oh, it's totally the same thing. They're only kind of related. They have about as much in common as a lead hook and an overhand right do. It's a similar relationship. There may be like cousins at best. The Superman jab is a quicker, less intuitive thing. If you showed a reasonably athletic person a video of someone doing a Superman punch, they would give you a shitty version of a Superman punch, and they would be able to hit hard and cover a lot of distance with it almost right away, like in the first lesson. Much like the overhand right, you can throw a wild haymaker and have great success with it. With the lead hook, if you're doing it wrong, nothing happens. And it's the same with the Superman jab. When you first start trying to teach it to people, they pick their leg up and then they make this awkward, it's very awkward, it's very embarrassing. I think that's probably one of the main reasons that people don't practice it or learn it or try to teach it, is because you look stupid when you don't know how to do it. The problem is, as a beginner, we're told to be balanced all the time. To do this properly, we have to actually be off balance. And I don't know if that's the correct term, being off balance, because we're doing it on purpose. And that's really the mark of the transition of intermediate to advanced, is when you start making things that would have been errors as a beginner, but now you're doing them on purpose. So they're not really errors anymore. If you put your weight back onto your back foot, you have to do a big, elaborate thing to get this motion. If you just pick the foot up, and if I didn't do the move, I would fall forward. But I just picked the foot up and shift my back foot to where my front foot was. That's as far. Keep this thing small at first. Keep the footwork real small at first. Up, forward. Up, forward. That's it. It's not a jump. And you don't have to go far with it. When you're learning how to do it, keep the motion small. When you add the punch, don't do a big punch. Most people want to go, rah, because they're thinking about that Superman punch from the rear. They want to make it big. Doesn't need to be big. We're going to keep it small. To learn it, keep your arm out almost straight. You can do it this way for real, but this is the way to learn this move. Keep your arm out straight. Pick your leg up so that you're off balance. Skip forward and just do that, just a little bit. Move 3 or 4 inches at most. Up, boom. That's the whole thing. And people think, oh, there's no way I can actually hit anybody with that. They'll be so far away. I'm not going far enough. This punch doesn't even have to land. This thing is pretty much the ultimate setup. It's a violent, scary, sudden move with some high percentage things you can combo off of it. I'm gonna show you a couple combos in a second. But here's the thing. Here's the caveat. If you've got no danger with your front leg, if you've not threatened them with any good lead leg attacks, especially if you have to step to throw your lead leg, or if you have to step to throw your front kick, if you have to do that, this won't be as effective. They need to be scared when you lift this leg so you get that reaction. The front leg comes up and they go like this. Your front leg comes up, they go like this. You want to draw their hands down. So if you can hurt them with your lead leg and make their hands go crazy every time you lift it, because they know that you can hit them without a big load, it'll work better. If you want a better front kick, you can get our front kick focus course. There's a link down in the description below. Or I'll be teaching it at seminars in North and South Carolina this month and next month. Go to my Instagram to see that schedule, and I'll post that down below too. If you have a good front kick, your Superman jab will be more dangerous. But let's talk about the combos. There's 2 super high percentage combos that we can do off of this. They almost always work. The first one, the old GSP special. Everyone knows it. he made it famous. He'd really pitch himself forward, and he didn't care if the jab landed or not. And in my experience, this thing rarely lands. I'll show you what to do when it does. But your next attack is almost free. Superman jab, and pivot to the rear leg kick. Super important detail here with the feet. Superman jab, watch this foot. Now listen, on this one, opinions vary on how much you have to turn this bottom foot at all for your kick. For this one, you've got to. You've got to land all the way turned around for the safety of your knee, for the kick to have power, and so you can move your head off center and be more defensively responsible. We're jumping dynamically off of one foot onto this foot and throwing a kick all at the same time. So this foot has to land almost backwards. I have to have those toes pointed away from the target. Boom, bop. One of the reasons this works so well, if you look here, when I do the Superman jab, I pull my head off to the right. When I come back for the kick, my head goes off to the left. So I'm defensively responsible the whole time. If they were firing back in that moment, head goes this way, head goes that way. And that foot turns around, both for power and for safety and for defense. Boom, bop. Now, if you land the Superman punch, typically the reaction is like a fly got in their face because it's so sudden and so violent. And you're adding 6 inches, which I've heard is a considerable amount of distance, to your punch in a sudden and violent way, particularly if you've hurt them a couple times with that guy right there. So if you land it, they'll likely run away like there's a fly trying to go in their mouth. So you land it, boom, step forward, pump, pump, bang. Give them 2 pumps, right? Give them 2 pumps, so you got 6 more inches. Ooh, we're going off the rails. I'm not off balance because I'm doing it on purpose. Here, I'm falling forward. Here, still forward. Here, boom. That's if the punch lands. If they're real defensive or they're just out of range and you don't land it, boom, bop. If they're backing up every time you touch them with it, boom, 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 boom. Those are real high percentage. There's not a lot of great counters to them. But to learn it, much like the lead leg, much like the lead hook, it feels very awkward, feels very difficult. Pick your foot up, shift your weight forward, keep that motion small. Detach yourself from the idea that the punch has to land on anything. It's a sudden thing. If I've hurt you with that, when I move that foot, you're gonna react. You gotta put time into it. And once you've got it, not a lot of guys have one. So you'll be kind of the one. It's like having a rare Pokemon, I guess. I don't know anything about Pokemon, but it's like having a rare Pokemon that gives you a free attack or a turn or whatever. It's like a skip. It's like a skip in Uno. That's what it's like.